Good day, welcome to Taste of Flavorful Culture. And today we'll be making some saltfish cakes or saltfish croquettes. The saltfish already been soaked. I had it soaking for overnight. Some people just boil it a couple of times and discard the water to get the salt out of it. What I did, I washed it real good, and I put in some cold water and dumped some ice on it. Changed the water over a period of maybe 3 times within the day, and that's it. Just make sure you desalt it as much as possible, and also make sure that when you do get the saltfish, it's de-skinned and deboned, so you don't have to go through the whole rigmarole of having to take it all off. Now I got some water already boiling, because what I'm gonna do is scald it off, which means just boil off a little bit of the salt, whatever is left in there, and in the process you're also cooking it. Okay, I have roughly a pound in my hand. I'm gonna put it in the water, and I'm gonna just let it boil for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna drain the water, and I'm gonna also taste it to make sure it is not too salty. This I'm gonna put back in the fridge because I'm gonna do something else with it. Now you really just want this to boil for a few minutes. And what you're doing is basically taking the salt out and you cooking it. That's all I have to be really said. Let it go for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna dump off the water. I'm gonna taste it and make sure it's still not too salty. When this comes to a boil, we're gonna go to the next step. Alright, it came to a boil. You get all that froth and foam and everything that's coming up. That's just the salt and all that stuff that's coming out of it. It's a very delicate fish, so you really and truly don't want to overcook it. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna cool it down by draining off the water, and I'm also gonna run some cold water on it, so that it'll be a lot easier picking the meat apart. Okay. Alright, we got this saltfish here. It doesn't look like a whole lot. You don't really need a whole lot. What I'm gonna do is just go ahead and break it all up. I washed it with cool water to cool it down so it's easier to handle. And all you're doing is going ahead and breaking it up. How fine is up to you. Okay. If you want, you can even put that bad boy in a food processor or blender to make your life a lot easier. Okay? Alright, I went ahead and I flaked it up, and what I'm gonna do now is go in with some dry ingredients. Okay? I'm going in with like a quarter teaspoon of onion powder, quarter teaspoon of black pepper, going with less than a quarter tablespoon of garlic powder. I'm going with a little bit of Himalaya salt. Now I don't play around too much with salt. I try to get rid of as much salt in the saltfish as possible, but a little bit too much came out of it. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a quick mix up. Use a little more salt. The purpose is not to boil all the salt out, but these things usually so salty. When I say salty, I mean salty. So it's better for me to add a little bit. It still has the flavor in it, but I don't want it to the point where you can't eat it. And I'm going with a hint more, and I'm done with that. And to mix this all up. Okay? Now instead of me going and doing a whole lot of chopping, what I'm gonna do is put everything in my little trusty mixer. Okay? I'm gonna go in with some parsley. Now this you can determine what all you want to put in here. I'm going in with just a few sprigs of parsley. Then I'm going in with a little more than a quarter of a bell pepper, a little less than half. Everything is washed already. I'm going in with some shallots. I got 2 small shallots. And if you know shallots break off into a few pieces when you open them up. I got some green onions. Going in with some green onions. That's just 2 sprigs of green onions. And what I'm gonna do is run out to the yard, and I got me some thyme. So I'm gonna pull out the little green, little branches off of that. You don't need a whole lot. I just particularly like a lot of thyme. Just going in with a few sprigs. And these branches are very young, they're very green. So even a little bit fall in there ain't a big thing because it's gonna smash right up. If you have like thicker, heavier stems, then you really want to make sure that you pluck it all off. These are green. Like I say, I'm gonna still just go ahead and peel these or break them up real fine. One more thing I forgot to add, just a little, it's less than a quarter of the little pack of sazon goya. It's just for color and flavor. Take my little lid and put it on. And wait to chop. However fine, it's up to you. But wifey's kind of a texture person, so I'm trying to make sure everything is chopped real fine. Alright. That's about the consistency that I want. Then I'm gonna go over here. 1 second, let me take the blade and everything out. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna dump everything in. Readjust. Go ahead and I'm gonna dump everything in. All right. See that? Go ahead and I'm gonna mix this. Get nicely incorporated. Then I'm going in with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm gonna slowly mix this in. All right, see that? That's flavor. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of water at a time because you don't want to add too much and destroy the whole mixture. You're looking for somewhat of a pancake batter consistency. And you want to make sure when you mix this, you mix it properly. Because you don't want to go in here and take a bite of raw flour. Okay, I'm going to need a little bit more water. Get out to the bottom. Still a little stiff. I'm going with a little more water. This thing you gotta take your time. Going with a little more water. Till I get the consistency. Here I'm making a mess. Oh yeah, it's almost there. Now I like to be able to taste my saltfish. I like to be able to taste everything that's giving me flavors. That's almost about it right there. I'm gonna continue to give it a quick mix. Clean up all the sides. Don't want it too runny. I don't want it too thick. That's about the consistency right there. I'm gonna just continue to mix it though. Make sure I get everything incorporated. See all them colors, all that flavor. Some people go ahead and put egg in there, but you don't have to. I'm definitely in that. And that's the consistency you kind of looking for. You want it to fall off the spoon, but you don't want it to run off the spoon. Look at that bad boy. Nice. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit and let all the flavors marry. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna go ahead and hot my oil, okay? All right, we back. And this is how we check the oil. You take a look, you see the chopstick? You see that bubbling? That's how you know the oil is nice and hot, okay? Now, you don't want your pan too hot because it's gonna burn. So you want it a medium, or you want it just a little bit below medium heat, all right? We got Latoya in here, she's giving me a hand. I'm the cameraman right now, so she's the one that's gonna be making the saltfish cakes, okay? Or saltfish croquettes. Now that's what you want to hear when it's frying, okay? You want to hear that bad boy sizzling. You don't want it too hot, but you want it to, you want it to be able to fry, because you don't want to drop it in cold oil and then it sucks up all that oil, okay? It's going to fry for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. You want to make sure that the inside is cooked. You don't want to make them too thick, because it's going to take longer to fry. You can use corn oil, you can use grapeseed oil, any kind of oil that has a good high temperature. I wouldn't request or suggest that you use olive oil. Olive oil does not have a high temp. It all depends on how thick you have them when you drop them in oil. If you make them very thick, of course you know it's going to take longer to cook. The thinner the better. See the bubbling? See the bubbling going down a little bit? I mean, most of the moisture that's in there is being cooked up. Look at that. Look at that. they all are not going to turn out the same way unless you mold it. Even if you use a scoop, like if you're doing them for like a occasion or whatever, use a little scoop. You want the consistency probably a little thicker, so when you put them in, they form a little ball. Look at that. Look at that. Delicious as can be. You want to put them on a piece of napkin so that it can absorb some of the water, or you can even put a cooling rack. It'll stay a little more crispy, especially if you've done them the way some people like them, extra crispy. It would stay crispy a lot longer if you put it in a cooling rack versus the paper towel. Going in with the second batch. Right now I have the fire or the heat on medium low. Listen to that bad boy fry. It smells delicious in here. What you say, Tony?
I can't wait to be done. I really want to eat one of these. But we know it get cool a little.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. This is my sous chef. So she helps me out a lot. When I'm not up to par, she lets me know. Get it right. She has some delicious recipes. She do a lot of baking, and I'm gonna tell you, y'all in for a treat. She has some nice cakes. She did one the other day. I was kind of upset that she did it. I didn't get a chance to record it. Lord send help. That cake, nice chocolate cake. Woo!
I think I'm gonna do a German chocolate rum cake.
My favorite is German chocolate. No, you added rum to it? Ha ha! Much better. Alright, like I said earlier, you don't want these things to be frying too rapidly. You want them to be able to cook and the inside cook as well. You don't want to bite into any doughy tasting anything. So you want to let them cook. You want to let them cook real good. You want to have your flame down low enough so that it can still fry, but they don't cook too fast. And that is the key. It's kind of reminded me of the way that my mom used to make it. I seen all the little vegetables and stuff in there, and how fine they was chopped. It's gonna be all cooked, and you're not gonna take no rawness or anything. It's gonna be mellow. Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! Bring it closer to the camera, baby. See that? Look at that! Look at that! Woo! Smell-o-vision. I'm gonna smell it for you, okay? Just so that you guys get it right, we're gonna do probably one more batch. I think you should have it by now, but I'm gonna go ahead and let her do one more batch, and so that you can get it right. When you make this for your loved one, your kids, whoever, they will enjoy it. You can fry them as crispy as you want. Look at that. Look at that. She's an artist. It's a little low, so I'm gonna crank the heat up a little bit.
You know what I don't remember?
What?
When my mom cooked this, I'm gonna be honest, we rarely had the same shapes. They kind of took their own shape. So whatever shape they come out in, even when we bought them during Carnival, they were always a different shape. But the taste was always great.
Talking about Carnival, this is April. This is normally when you have the food fair and all that stuff going on in the islands. Man, you get your Johnny cakes, you get your saltfish, you get your patés, you name it. All the traditional
red pea soup.
Ooh, baby. You get
fritters.
what? Not only that, you get your local drinks. You get your local, we call it cherry stew, but it's made of, it's gooseberry.
Gooseberry.
You know? You get all the local treats, the sugar cake and all that stuff. Man.
Oh, tamon stew.
What?
Stew mango.
What? I'll tell you this. Corona has messed it up for everybody that like to travel back home for Carnival. It is such a pleasure when you get home, and you know, we're not the partying type, but I'm gonna tell you, listening to the music, all the trucks going down the street with the big speakers on top, the live bands, man, everybody is having fun. You know, whenever you guys get a chance, try it one day. I get after the corona and stuff is over with. That's beautiful, baby. After this batch, I'm gonna pause it, and then we gonna come back when they all finish. Give you a view of deliciousness. And hey, I'm looking at it right now. My mouth is just drooling.
If you notice, I flipped some of them back over because what I'm looking for is a even shade on the entirety. So if you look here, you could see this is a little bit of a different texture, and this, so I would flip these back over because they just need to do a little bit more, whereas this one is more even, and so this one will be done before the rest of these are completed.
I hope you guys tried this recipe. Tell me how you like it in the comments. Subscribe, share it. See you guys next time. I apologize, the end of the last clip got cut off. But see you on the next video.